everybody. Welcome to my classroom. I am that vegan teacher, and my guest today is Emily Walsh, slightly crazy vegan. Say hi, Em.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, excellent. So
I
you
do
are
have a-
Oh yeah, you're welcome. You are from Australia.
Yeah, I live in Sydney, Australia.
All right. What time is it and what day is it over there right now?
It's Sunday and it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right. And here in Montreal, it's 8 o'clock at night and it's Saturday. That's quite a time difference.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm so happy that you're here. Today we're going to be talking about nudity, and we're going to be talking about nude beaches and why would anyone want to be nude, and we're going to relate it to the naturalness of being vegan. And we're going to be answering some people's questions. Yeah?
Yes, sounds good.
All right. So I understand that you are, well, first of all, let's talk about you being an ethical vegan. You are vegan for how long?
4 years.
Okay, me too. It's coming up to 5 pretty soon.
Yeah, coming up to 4.5 because I did it. I made a New Year's resolution.
Okay,
So,
why did you become vegan?
Why? Okay, so it's hard. Like I didn't have like a like you explained the whole 100 clicks thing. For me, it was very similar. I didn't just watch a documentary and go, "Oh, that's him going vegan." I kind of just got introduced to it like slowly. Like one time, one of my friends who's a meat eater, he was saying like he's been researching into like the plant-based diet and how it's like really healthy for you, blah blah. And then I didn't try the plant-based diet, but it just went in the back of my mind like, oh really, and then I think one of my friends, he said that he used to be vegetarian, and then I was like, oh man, you're like a little like he's so annoying, and he's to think that he was like, because I was like, why are you vegetarian? And he said, oh, because I care about the animals. And I'm like, I just remember thinking in the back of my head, like, you care about animals more than like I would care about animals. Like, I just didn't think he would be the type. And so then I kind of got me switched on. And then I can't remember, maybe it was a few Facebook posts, but I saw this thing about Dairy is Scary. So I watched Dairy is Scary and I was like, oh my God, like it opened my eyes to dairy. And even though I didn't cut out dairy completely, I definitely reduced.
Right.
And although reduce is still not as good, but it was like, that was just, a part of the steps, like just about changing someone's like core values because yeah, like obviously when we grow up, we learn our core values. So this isn't just small value. This is a very core value. So it's really, really hard to change. And even if you can change their mind consciously, it's really hard to change your mind subconsciously. In fact, when I finally went vegan, I feel like I wasn't really vegan for like 3 months. I didn't really get it for 3 months. So yeah, and then so I watched a few I watched a few things on YouTube and I was like, yeah, and I decided to do a vegetarian week. And then and I remember I was on Tinder or something and I was like going on a few dates and I came across a guy that was vegan and I was like, oh, I've been thinking about veganism. Right. So I went on a date with him and we didn't really work out. But afterwards I was like, I didn't really like him and he didn't really like me. And then I said to him, like, oh, what can I watch to make it easier to go vegan? Because I know that the Dairy is Scary kind of helped me.
Right.
And then he said, Earthlings, Forks Over Knives, and Cowspiracy.
Cowspiracy.
Yeah. So there were all the documentaries that were out back then. So I remember watching those 3 and then I decided to transition. Now, I don't know why I didn't just go straight to veganism, but I kind of just assumed it was like a transition thing. So yeah, that's why I made it like it was in November. And so I was like, oh, mate, I'll do a New Year's resolution. So I kind of just slowly went towards veganism. It was a really slow transition, but
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, cool. It happens that way, right? It takes 100 clicks until you become vegan. I just realized something. I think I said today was Saturday, but maybe it's just wishful thinking. It's actually Sunday. It's Sunday night at 8, and you're Monday, right?
Oh, yeah, it's Monday.
Right.
Because you know why?
You
Because
too.
I work full time. You know why? Because I work full time in YouTube. So
Every
like
day
I
turns.
was like, it's Sunday. Oh yeah, it's Monday. I forgot. It's
Right.
Monday morning because I don't work. I don't have a regular job.
But you have an important job to teach veganism online.
Yeah. So I
That's-
got 2 channels, so I try to teach on both.
Okay, so let's talk about how you got into nudity and nude beaches, and why don't you try to sort of talk about the different myths that there are and what it's really like, and just tell the audience a little bit why you would want to be naked in front of complete strangers and risk burning your bum in the sun.
Okay, so basically we've got so I've been a nudist for 5 years. So 1 year extra. So
being vegan is not what made you become nude or whatever,
No.
into the nudist lifestyle.
No,
Okay.
I joined that because I wanted to make friends.
That's why you went to the nudist. Do you call it nudist colonies? Is that what you call them, or like to the nudist?
Nudist colony is like a community of people that live and support like each other. But a colony is more like when you live off grid and you like you have your own resources. But nudity, like nudism, so the nudist community, just like the vegan community, can exist online and offline. And I wanted to make friends. And I did make friends, but just lots of older friends. So I'm kind of glad with the vegan community I can meet some younger people. But
so do you find that mostly in these nude groups that they tend to be older people, like leftovers from the hippies kind of thing? Not so much young people.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because everybody has cell phones now and films each other and it's just way too risky? Like,
no, I think it's because it's become more and more acceptable to show skin, but it's been more and more sexualized.
Right.
That's what I believe, because even though we're saying, oh, you can show your body and you can show skin, but that's a sexual thing, but it's okay to be sexual. It's like, it's okay to be sexy, which is fine.
But
showing skin doesn't necessarily mean that it's sexual.
Yeah, I mean, I one of the things I found frustrating is, as a school teacher here in Canada, kids don't always wear uniforms. In fact, most public schools, they don't. They wear whatever. But there's sort of like a basic uniform kind of idea. And one of the things is that they said that little girls, any girl, maybe any guy too, couldn't wear shirts that had like spaghetti straps. So like this would be like, I think it's even too skinny because it has to be 3 fingers or something like that. And I was like, that is nuts. You got these cute little 5-year-olds who are so happy in their cute little yellow dresses with the flowers, and they have these little straps, and they were like told, you can't wear that. And it's like, well, why not? Well, because your shoulder's showing too much.
Yeah.
Like, so like,
yeah,
I just find it weird. I just thought it was
like
strange.
Sexualizing children.
Yeah. It's not right.
You're teaching them to like hide like more of their body, which is, and if they ask why, it's like, oh, because it's too sexual. But then it's like, okay, now you're sexualizing showing skin.
Yeah.
And that's the same with like when schools have a problem with like dyeing hair. I'm like, you're teaching children to discriminate against different hair colors. Like, I think
so I guess you don't believe in school uniforms. I guess you think that kids should be able to wear whatever.
No, like I actually prefer school uniforms. Here in Australia, every school has to wear a school uniform, no matter what. Yeah, no. So I wore a school uniform, and I just went to a public school. Every school has a school uniform here.
Now, why do you like them?
See, I like them because, like, there's a difference between saying you can wear anything, but then you have to cover up, between like, okay, this is the uniform and this is like what you're supposed to wear, because I think it it gets rid of bullying. It gets rid of like the idea that you have to be fashionable, and I think it takes away. I might be biased because I might be a little bit biased because I did come from a school where I had a uniform, but I never felt like I just remember feeling like when we did outside of school activities, like I did the Rocker Stepford, which is like a dance thing. I did feel the need to like wear like fashionable clothes and stuff.
More pressure.
Yeah, and there's like when you have the uniform, there's not as much pressure to wear something fashionable or whatever, like, or like upgrade your clothes and stuff. You're just wearing what everybody else is wearing, and I think it just makes it easier and less bullying and stuff like that. Plus, little kids look so cute in their uniform.
Well, yeah. The only thing I can think is that it kind of gives kids this attitude that they're going to work, like to take it more seriously. I can see that kind of being a good thing. But, you know, kids seem to alter uniforms anyway. They always seem to try to get away with wearing a little, you know, a pink shoelace or, I don't know, doing something to their hair. Like they always try to break out of the mold, so they still manage to have their identity a little bit anyway. So I don't have a strong feeling about it either way. I mean, I just think if there's going to be a uniform, it should be consistent. Like boys should be allowed to wear skirts if they want to, or the whole uniform should have no skirts. That would be even easier. Just everybody wear jeans. Honestly, I think jeans would be the easiest thing for a school uniform, but whatever, some kind of
like there was a thing where this guy that like I think it was in Australia, and these three boys, they were like, oh, we want to wear like girls clothes and stuff, and like they asked their teacher beforehand, and they said, is that breaking the rules? And they said, okay, and they said to them, as long as you're wearing the girls' school uniform, you can't come in dresses, but you can wear the girls' school uniform. You're not breaking the code. So they came in uniform, but it was for the girls' uniform. But it's okay because as long as they were wearing school uniform, they were okay. So.
All right. So I just want to address the comment here. I go to a public school. I wear spaghetti straps all the time at school. I have no idea how old you are. Maybe you're probably, I don't know, you could be 12 or you could be 17. I don't know. So I'm curious. If you guys want to put some comments and give us a little bit more information, it would be kind of interesting to us, and also maybe what country you're in. But we're going to go backwards a little bit and talk a little bit more about what you were saying about being nude and what attracted you. Sort of said you wanted to join these kind of nudist communities to make friends. Now, at the time, you must have had some knowledge about it and thought like, and known that it's not. I think the main thing that people probably think of is that it is a sexual thing, and that one of the things that people really don't realize is that it's very relaxed and people don't really judge each other because there's so many different body types. It's not just only the good looking people, like it's everybody and all ages. And people really don't give a shit, right? They're just like chilling and they're reading and they're just like checking stuff out. They're lying like this and they're talking to each other or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll tell you how I got on to like knowing about nudism. So I met a guy on a bus. I know it's really random, but I met a guy on a bus and I made friends with him. And he told me about this festival called Confest, where they it's a big festival where everybody gets together, and then it's clothing optional, and they have this activity where they go into the lake and there's lots of mud and they put mud all over themselves, and then they come out and they're all dry. The mud dries, and then they just walk around like with mud all over them, and then they'll go back into the water and wash it off and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, and I can't remember my questions, but he's like, oh, it's like, no, like no one's like having sex with each other or anything like that. It's all, natural, and it's just like very body positive and everything. And I thought, oh, that sounds really good. And then it wasn't until a year later or something that me and my best friend, one of my best friends, Natasha, were talking, and we were talking about how I didn't really have any friends because I just moved back from interstate. So I lived in the Gold Coast for a bit, and I moved back to Sydney with my family, and I didn't have any friends. I lost all my like high school friends and stuff. They all moved away, or I stopped talking to them. And she was saying like, well, the reason why I have like Natasha has so many friends is because she has niche interests. you know, like she's really into dolls, and then she's got like other communities that she's into. And I was like, she's like, can you think of some niche stuff that you're into that's not like that, not, you know, majority of the people like are into? And I said, oh, nudism. Like I heard about that. And she looked up a few active like events that were happening, and I was like, sweet. And so I went on to those events, and I never looked back. I was just like, this is amazing.
You weren't nervous taking your clothes off for the first time and like walking around like, where do you come on, where do you put your cell phone?
So I just put my cell phone in my bag. Like if it's on the beach, then I put it in my bag with where all my clothes are. And I'm not that, with everybody else being naked, it's not that big a deal.
Right. Now, does everybody have to be naked when you go there?
It depends on the event. So like if you go to a nudist beach, it's clothing optional. If you go to like a special like country club where they have, you know, where it's private property and you can go on there and join them, it depends on their rules. So some resorts are like clothing optional, and then other resorts are like, no, only nude, because we don't want like perverts coming. We don't want people coming just for a pub. We don't want people coming and like they're not nude and then they make everybody else feel uncomfortable that they're not nude. So like they'll have a good majority of people everyone has to wear the same uniform, nude. That's the uniform. But that's the thing, like if you are cold or if you're getting sunburnt, then you can wear clothing. So like you'll see people walking around naked but with a jacket on, or like they won't wear any bottoms. They're just wearing a jacket. Or they'll walk around with a shirt on but no bottoms because they want to protect their sun. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of people think because you're nude, you're going to get more sunburn. And I'm like, no, it's the opposite. It just depends on the person. But it's actually the opposite, because when you go to textile beaches, you'll see men walking around in board shorts, and they have their backs and their shoulders completely exposed to the sun, right? Which is the most vulnerable part of your body apart from your face. And then, you know, at like nudist beaches, sometimes you'll see like guys wearing shirts but then no bottoms, which is actually better. It's like you're not wearing those board shorts for sun protection. So like girls don't wear bikinis for sun protection. Okay, like let's just get over that.
All right, so let me just have a look here. Hi, vegan teacher. I have a question for you about veganism. What is the best way to make vegan food? The best way to make vegan food, I think the best way is to Google some recipes and find some that you like, because it depends. I mean, I cook very simply. Typically for me, what I do is I have a big batch of rice and of lentils cooked together ahead of time, or rice and chickpeas in a big batch. I keep that in a big pot in the fridge so I can always add it and warm it up really easily. I also chop an onion. Like often I have an onion ready, and the onion I throw it in the pan, fry that up in some water with a bunch of different Indian spices, cumin and curry. I put some cinnamon in there, maybe garlic and ginger, whatever. And I also throw in whatever veggies I have. So it could be frozen veggies. It can be I cut up anything. And then I add everything together. So I eat super simply, but I eat these sort of bulk meals. And I find them very filling and delicious. And now we happen to have somebody who does a nude cooking show. That's actually what she does on her channel. So maybe you could tell us about some of your favorite recipes, like your go-tos, like honestly, not the fancy ones, the stuff you just go to when it's fast and when you need to get something quick.
So I love making just fruit salad. I prefer fruit over veggies. So I'll just cut up a whole bunch of fruit. Like I watch like Freely Banana Girls content, and I'm just like, yeah. Because I have a huge sweet tooth, and the thing is like whenever I have like something savory, like a big dinner, I have to have something sweet afterwards. And
me too.
Freely always says that's because your body is wanting glucose, and your body is wanting the natural source, which is from fruit. And I was like, that is so true. If you have ice cream, your body's satisfied, but it's not what it really needed.
Right.
So I love making chia seed pudding. So where you put like a plant-based milk, then you put chia seeds and you mix it around. You put it with some type of sugar, whether it be maple syrup, argive, or just sugar. And then you can put some food. I've been putting some food coloring in to make it look pretty, and then you leave it in the fridge. Leave it in the fridge overnight. I might make up like more than one, and then and then the next day I just have that with some coconut yogurt and like huge thing of fruit. Like
Yeah.
you have no idea, like so much.
Yeah, that's the thing people don't realize, and that's what when I was watching Freely too, it sort of opens your eyes to how much fruit you should be eating. Like most people just have a tiny little bit, and it's just like she just piles it in there and she just eats massive amounts. And that woman has the best abs that I've ever seen in my life. She has just, she's incredible, in incredible shape. Now, I won't speak about the rest of her diet. She is sending me her books, actually. She said that she was going to send them to me for me to, the ebooks for me to review. So I'm looking forward to that because she has Raw Till 4 and all this stuff.
A review of those. Actually, I have that in mind. I just haven't got around to reading it.
Right. All right. Thank you, Trash Caress. I sent you a message on IG weeks ago. Read it. Oh, okay. Trash Carcass. Okay. Listen, I feel really bad, and I've mentioned this many times, that people send me these messages, but by the thousands. So if I open up my Instagram, I have so many messages, so much of it is spam. I simply cannot get through them. So I just urge you to keep trying. Every time I've given out a new Instagram or a new email address, it is immediately spammed by like thousands of people. So it's really hard for people to actually get a hold of me. That's why when I do these lives or when I do a premiere, I'm right there. Most of the times I'm right there. So it's the best time if you have a quick question to catch me, because that's where I'm really there and I'm looking to see if anybody wants to say something important to me. So I'm super sorry about that. I'm definitely not ignoring you. It's just that it goes into the trash, and there are people also put me in all kinds of conversations that I don't want to be in. So I don't know. Some sort of chat, like I'm in so many. I'm just like, how did I end up here? Like, I don't want to be here. And I don't seem to know my way around Instagram that well, which is nuts because I really should. Like, it just never really did anything there. But now I use it to communicate with people a little bit more. But yeah, I will look for your, please just try again. And also, actually, you know what? Just 1 second. Sorry, Emily. If you can write your Instagram in the comments, and maybe somebody who's watching can write it down for me, and I can maybe contact you. And hopefully you're a nice person, and you're not just going to send me nude dick pics, because, you know, I don't really need those.
I used to get that, and I had to like decline a lot of messages because I just kept getting dick pics. It was really frustrating. But also Trash Carcass, I'm pretty sure that she's a content creator. So if you're in the VCC server, that vegan teacher is also in the VCC server. So you can tag her and talk to her in that way.
Okay, and the VCC stands for Vegan Content
Creators.
Right. So that's a Discord. See, that's the other thing, is I have a Discord, but I honestly just don't really go there very much because I'm just so busy. Today I spent most the day just composing songs. I'm now up to, the next album is going to have almost 60 vegan songs on there, 15 seconds each, that people can use on TikTok anytime that they want to. It's going to be on Spotify and Apple Tunes or whatever it's called. It's going to be out there. And then anybody who can just can go to take that sound and use it. It's going to be all kinds of different little songs that you can just film in the grocery store or film your pets. Like, I'm just trying to come up with every single type of idea so people can do activism without having to show their faces, and can just use sounds that are specific to vegan stuff. And I'm going to try and make more dance songs and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, thank you, Palestinian Vegan. When's the album coming out? I don't know. I keep thinking it's going to come out, and then I keep thinking, oh, I have to write that song. Oh, I have to write that song. And then I just keep having more and more. So hopefully soon, hopefully by the end of the week, or maybe earlier. No, maybe by the end of the week. Next weekend, hopefully. All right. What have we got here? What's your opinion on Mr. Beast? Do you know who Mr. Beast is? I don't.
I think he's a YouTuber.
Okay.
Doing that, I'm just going to fill up my water.
Oh, okay. But if you know who he is, what? Oh, now she's left me. Okay, Mr. Beast. I don't know. I don't have an opinion about Mr. Beast. Oh, nice chair. It looks nice there on the purple. All right. Let's see what we have here. In my country, girls who wear clothes that show their thighs and shoulders get sexualized and raped. Oh, Jenny, that's terrible. It's still happening. It's disappointing. Sometimes girls go to jail when they wear dresses. Jenny, please tell us where you are from so that people can understand a little bit better, because that sounds terrible.
I think that people, it's not that those girls get raped because they're wearing that. I think it's because guys can know that that's a good excuse. And if people buy that excuse, then they're going to use it, because rape is really about overpowering someone. So it has nothing to do with turning someone on. They just feel like they have the power.
Okay, Cami is here. Cami writes, cows only give milk when pregnant and humans give milk when they are pregnant. Therefore, we can survive without milk. Only babies need milk. Calves need cow milk. Human babies need milk. Thank you so much. You are absolutely right. And it is great that you guys are still continuing on in the vegan message over there in the comment section. Thank you so much for those of you who are educating some guests here. Some people just pop in and they've never seen us. They don't even know what the word vegan means. So don't be afraid to start from scratch. Tell people what they can do and what the videos they can watch, they can eat, and so on. So thank you so much for that. Oh, trash carcass. Okay, I'm a 15-year-old activist. I'm a 15-year vegan activist in my 50s. Hello, slightly crazy. Figured out Discord. I know, Discord. Okay. Okay, you're in your 50s. Okay, hi, trash carcass. I don't know what you want, but write down your Instagram and maybe somebody will communicate it to me, because I won't be able to go through all the comments. But
I might be able to do that because I know trash carcass.
Oh, you know? Okay, you know each other. Oh, then perfect.
I'm playing with the VCC server because I'm pretty sure that she's in it, but I'm not sure. I think she's a content creator, but I'm not sure. I know that she's been on a couple of Vegan Pixies live streams.
Okay. Oh, so Trash Carcass is the female.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know anything. Okay, join 22. Yeah, get free help becoming vegan. There are vegan dietitians there, and you are in a group with one-to-one coach. You will find so much there. Sign up today. Definitely. Thank you so much for that comment. That's very, very helpful. Let's talk about free the nipple. Do you think that women should be allowed to be topless in general society? Now, we're not talking about nude beaches anymore. We're just talking about, for example, what happened to Vegan Booty, Tash Peterson, who did a demonstration in Australia. She dressed up like a cow, but she had no top on. She had black and white sort of paint everywhere. And she was basically trying to talk about the female body and how it's exploited when in the dairy industry. And people got upset and said she was nude. And she was like, I don't care. Like, you know, I'm here to speak out on behalf of the cows and to get attention. So what do you think? Do you think that what she did was wrong, right? Or do you have an opinion?
Oh, so I definitely don't think what she did was wrong, like, especially because she like had paint, like she'd painted on herself, but I don't really see it as that big a deal. But like, obviously I'm a nudist, so I don't really care whether someone's completely naked. I don't care.
And what do you say? Thank you, Palestinian vegan. Am I coming back to TikTok? Right now, I'm so busy. I do have a TikTok account. I just don't let people know about it because I want to keep educating people in different parts of the world. So in order for me not to get banned again, I just stay low on the radar and I just do things in other places of the world where, you know, the regular haters cannot take my account down, where I can show some what's really going on and I'm treated like a normal person, which I should have been treated in the first place. But I am so happy to be doing more here on YouTube. It's kind of fun. You know, I really believe that every time a door closes in your life, that another door opens. And there's every single time in my life where something bad has happened, there's always been something good around the corner. So I have complete faith. I mean, it sucks at first. You're sort of like, okay, that wasn't fair. That's not right. Oh, and by the way, yesterday, just a side note to anybody who happened to be here yesterday, I talked about a group on Facebook called What Broke Vegans Eat. And I was removed from that group. My post was removed, and I think I was removed from that group. But today I went there and suddenly I was back. And I was just like, oh, my post was there. So I have a feeling that whoever took the post down, put it back, or I don't know what happened. But anyway, my post is still up there, which talks about
what platform?
That is on Facebook, and it is a group called What Broke Vegans Eat. So anyway, I'm just mentioning that on the side because I said, well, I can't believe I got banned from that group because I mean it's a great group. And I even said it. I said it's a great group, so it's great.
And it's a vegan group, so it's like what? It's not
because people started coming in there who aren't vegan and spread all the same lies, saying that I'm all these things that I'm not, that I all the crazy stuff. I mean, the rumors that are nuts. They say that I'm racist. I'm not. They say I'm xenophobic. I'm not. They say that I, broke some laws. I never did. They say I ran over someone with a car. I never did. They say that my vegan dog Bella is dying. She's not. She's just like right over there, and she just ran around in the dog park. Like, anyway, it's crazy. People will do almost anything.
Rumors that keep coming out, and I'm like, I think this is just Chinese whispers because you're just picking something from one like rumor.
People, but it's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of people that infiltrate that group because they just want to be mean on purpose. And so there's a lot of vegan phobia in the world. And anyway, how did you know swearing would work as the one where you talk to God with the tune really inspired me to become vegan? Can we eat the plant burgers and stuff like that? How did you know swearing would work as the one where you talk to God with the tune? Oh, I don't even know which one. I've written so many songs and different songs about religion. Like maybe you're talking about Jesus is vegan now and God is too. That one? Anyway, maybe you're thinking, because I think it's crazy that people use religion as an excuse to abuse animals. So I just said, you know what? Jesus is vegan now. That's it. I've decided. If Jesus was here right now, Jesus would say, let's see, should we keep abusing these animals, keep this Holocaust going on, or should we be like slightly crazy vegan and that vegan teacher and maybe not hurt the animals? So I think that Jesus would kind of do, you know what, I think I'm going to be like these girls over here. They seem like nice ladies and I'm going to be vegan. That's what I honestly believe. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I don't really understand. I don't mind people believing in God, but I hate it's the echo now. What's going on?
Oh, you have an echo? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Did you move anything at all or no? Neither did I. So maybe it'll go away. I don't know.
Yeah, so I hate when they refer to back to the Bible for like for their morals, and it's like, why can't you just use your own brain and think about what you think is moral? Because there's been so many things over time that religion has been like, oh, okay, this is moral now. Oh, this is moral now. Like, oh, gay people. Oh, now this is moral now. And it's like before it wasn't. Now it's okay. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but that's the same with animals, like eating animals. It's like, okay, when are you going to say like, okay, now it's not okay? Stop referring back to this book that has said all these atrocities. And I'm not just talking about Christianity, but like a lot of them, they have like heaps of bad things written in them. And yeah, it's like, I reckon it was written by like a philosopher, but like from way back then, and that's their thoughts. And they haven't like updated that, but people just keep referring back to these old thoughts. And you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you want to read the comment?
Yes. As being born where my family ate meat, my cats love non-vegan food. I want to switch them even though they love that food. My mum thinks they have to eat meat. Any tips on how to transition them? So, I mean, for me, yeah, you just get the vegan food and like you can, I mean, I guess you can see how they go. Just give the cat some and then see how they eat it, because cats are really fussy and they're not the types to like, they're not like dogs. They won't just like eat anything. Like cats won't eat something if they don't like it. And you can just pay attention to their like weight gain or weight loss.
What's important is that you get a reputable brand of vegan cat food that has all the proper nutrients in it. So you can go, for example, Evolution is a brand that I think is okay. I don't have cats myself, so I would just refer to the professionals for this. Go to the sites, Google them. There are also vegan cat Facebook groups where people have done all of this research, looked into things, and I think there's one just called Vegan Cats, and you can just join that and say, hey, I'm new here, I'm not sure what to do. And I think they have all kinds of articles already and advice. And one thing you can do is, I heard that you can put just a tiny little bit of oil on the food, and it just gives them, like, they like to lick that. It just gets them going to start. You should also make sure it has a little bit of moisture in it, because otherwise they get sick because they just don't drink enough. So that's two tips that I heard. But you know, I'm not a vet, I'm not an expert, and I wouldn't even talk to a vet who is not a vegan vet necessarily, because they, I mean, they already eat their own patients. So why would I trust them?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't understand how veterinarians are not all vegan. That is just mind-boggling to me. Like, you literally take care of animals all day, and then you go home and you pay someone to kill them. It must be so strange. Like me, having worked as a registered nurse, to think that I would be taking care of someone and at the end of the day, drive home, stop in at the grocery store and buy like an arm or a leg and fry it up. A human arm or leg is just weird. So, I mean, people don't think it's the same thing, but you know.
You've seen my Halloween videos from last year on my Slightly Crazy Vegan channel. If you watch my Halloween versions, I do actually human meat.
Oh, I hate that stuff. I hate anything that has to do with creepiness, death, ghosts, Dracula, fake blood. I'm just not into any of that. Oh my God, I hate that. There's enough murder in the world and terrible stuff going on. There's wars every time you turn on the news, and there's dead animals on my screen all the time because I watch so much footage of animals suffering. The last thing I want is any kind of violent video games or any violence at all. You want to read the comment here?
Yes. Veganism is a philosophy and way of life which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. You know what? I've read that so many times. Because you know what? You know, my biggest pet peeve is when people think that veganism is a diet. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's not diet. They're like, some people do it for health. I'm like, no, I'm not a feminist for health reasons. Like, I'm not a nudist for my health. Okay, I'm a nudist. I'm a feminist. Well, I'm a feminist for gender rights, just like I'm a vegan for animal rights.
Yeah, being vegan is not about food. It's all about the animals and our treatment of them. And thank you so much, Watch Dominion Movement, who is always here. I don't know who this person is, by the way. This person knows like everything about me, I think, because they're always here helping. I don't know if it's a man. I don't know if it's a woman. They probably told me, and I get everybody mixed up. I don't know if this person's 15 years old or 95. No idea. But whoever you are, you're awesome. You're always educating. I love the cow, which is the symbol of the Watch Dominion Movement. I love that you're constantly putting these comments, and I just really hope you don't burn out, because you are amazing. And this is so important to give these basic bits of information to visitors. People pop in, they have no idea what veganism is, and this person is constantly referring them to the important documentaries and writing these things, and it is such a help. I always tell people, if you want to be an animal rights activist and you don't want anybody to know who you are, but you really want to help those of us who are exposing our faces, and help in our comment sections. It is so necessary that we have some help in there to support our message, to continue the educating, because we're not always there. And people spread lies in comment sections. They just write whatever. My brother's sister's father's uncle died because they were vegan, or some bullshit. So, you know, you just got to go, come on, you know, like you need police in there like full time to kind of like set people straight. It's crazy. Be vegan 2021. Yes. All right. And our guest here looks like she's a little bit getting tired. You need a cup of coffee or something.
No, I don't need caffeine because it gives me too much energy.
Okay. All right. Do you want to read? Oh, I just missed one. I had one. I'm sorry. It was, I think, was it maybe Don't Be Vegan Phobic, Be Kind? Is that one by Elizabeth? I don't remember. Anyway, do you want to read this one?
Are people on nudist beaches more receptive to veganism since they are already open?
That's a great question.
So. You think so, but they're not. Like, I think that vegans are more open to nudity, to nudism, in accepting nudism as a non-sexual activity. But yeah, I know a lot of nudists that are big meat eaters, and they're completely unaware of the whole animal things. But I do know a lot of lot of nudists that are vegetarian, vegan, and things like that. There is a good correlation between the two because of the hippie part. But you don't have to be hippie to be vegan, just like you don't have to be a nudist. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was wondering, do you have any tattoos on your body that could spread the vegan message even when you're nude?
Oh, yeah. So I'm really OCD. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. So I'm really skeptical about where I put something permanently on my body. And because
But I
if
don't think I think that's a normal fear, whether you have OCD or not. I don't have any tattoos. I know
yeah,
that I've changed so often in my life. To have something permanent like that, I don't know.
yeah, well, I'll literally like cry myself to sleep if they do it like the wrong way.
Also that, yeah, right.
I'll be
It's
really
somebody else to, yeah.
really
It could just,
confused.
what do you? It's, I don't know. I just always think to myself, it's like when I look at a blank canvas, like, am I going to improve this beautiful white blank canvas? Like, if I'm not going to improve it, just put the white blank canvas on your wall. Like, there's nothing, like, there's no reason that I can see to put these permanent things on there. I mean, I
I
guess if you have a vegan,
like
if you have a vegan message that's really strong and you really like the thing and you know for sure you've been vegan for like a long time and you're never going to change and all this stuff, like, it's fine. But just
yeah,
not for
no,
me.
I love vegan tattoos. I was actually thinking about getting a vegan tattoo. If ever I get a tattoo, I've already got the tattoo picked out. It's going to be like a V that also has like that's turned into like a love heart that has a little green leaf on it. So that's what
I like that. I like those simple ones too. Like the simple plain V with the little leaf off the top, like something simple. I've seen people have them like here, and I think that's kind of
yeah.
cute to have it just there where you can, I mean, that is one thing that I could see myself doing that if, like, I don't know, somebody else was going and I was like, okay, let's go together. But
Make
just to go
sure
out
it's
of my way.
vegan ink. Make sure that the place you go to has vegan ink as well, because you don't want to get a non-ink like vegan tattoo.
That'd be strange. Do you want to
Yeah.
read this one?
Do you think vegan phobia is worse for men? As a man, I find it harder to be vegan than my girlfriend. I feel that society has more vegan phobia criticism about male vegans. I think it's because of the society's like masculinity idea is to eat meat. You know, because like, when you go to a barbecue, it's the men that are cooking the meat and the girls that are making the salads and everything else.
How weird is that, eh? By the way, like, how hard is it to make a burger? You just stand there and you just do this.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's the
there's
point.
nothing to it, right?
Men are lazy, like.
Anyway, cooking vegan burgers, cooking non-vegan burgers, same thing. So cook vegan burgers. I don't know, Danielle. I don't know. We're not, we're probably not the people to ask about that. The only thing I can say is that my husband's vegan, and I can tell you, he's not the one getting the hate mail because he's not as, public about it. He is just a private person. And how you get hate is when you start to speak out. You become a target because people feel so insecure about their own choices. They feel guilty, and so they want to lash out at you. And the more that you stand your ground and say, I'm not backing down, the madder people get. They want to see you curl into a corner and just talk about recipes. They don't want you to talk about animals and make them feel bad for eating them, wearing them, paying for their incarceration. I mean, it is terrible. Trash carcass, can I get in on this? What does that mean? You want to come on the stream? I would maybe, but I don't know you, so I'm sorry, not yet. But if I knew you, you can come. I know it feels so bad. You've been trying to contact me on my Instagram. Maybe try right now on my Instagram. It's that vegan teacher, Miss Katie, and you can try to contact me there. And maybe if we get to know each other, I could interview you if you're an ethical vegan. That sounds great for the next time, maybe.
Well, I know you only have 18,000, but have you ever tried to verify your Instagram account?
No, I don't think they will. Yeah.
But if you verify it, then people know, like, because what it is like, it's not about how many people, like, followers you have, but I think it's how well known you are, and you're pretty well known. And so you can you can apply, and then they can verify it to see, like, to say, okay, this is your real account.
Yeah. Well, one thing about being verified that I thought was strange, and Jada, I'll refer to your comment in a moment. I can already see it's about Gordon Ramsay, so you can imagine I'm not too thrilled about that. But about getting verified. What I thought was strange is on TikTok, I had asked them to verify me way earlier on because people were having fake accounts. And I think that was another problem with TikTok is it's not really right. I mean, I was ready to show them my photo ID, like I just want to prove that it's me so that people cannot keep faking my account. Well, I had like 1,000 fake accounts pretending to be me. It's no wonder people believe all these lies. I literally once saw somebody with my little symbol and I was like, oh, I don't remember writing that comment. That's strange. And I was like, duh, it's not you. Like, you know, it was easy. A lot of my friends, even people close to me, got confused. They're like, oh my God, what happened to Bella? I heard she got sick. I'm like, no, that was a fake account talking. Like so many things. Like I had a lot of things stacked against me for that. Like a lot of rumors that were spread that were lies, and then people believed those, and then more and more people started to gang up. And at least what I say is that I really reached more people than I ever could have imagined. I mean, the fact that I sang outside of McDonald's and people still know that song, that little 15-second ukulele song, like the 25 million people saw it or whatever it was maybe more by the end. You know, I could never have accomplished that on Facebook like I was before, like in a million years. So, but still, the work's never done because the animals are still suffering. And I don't know about you, but I'm never stopping.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I have my one account, but the thing is that when I wanted to put more vegan, like clothed vegan content on there, I seemed to lose subscribers and I lost, and it was to do with like the algorithm. And so that's why I decided, you know what, the nude cooking shows, they're working, but they're working on this account. So I'll make another account for that kind of stuff. And people are like, why won't you just use it on your bigger account? And I went, because then it's going to take away the effectiveness of my it's going to take away the effectiveness of my nude cooking shows. You know what I mean? It's going to like bring them down, and I didn't want that. So now I'm just going to do like nude and like tackling misconceptions about nudism, which tends to get like high views. And also I'm going to do like continue to do the nude cooking shows, and then on my other one, I can slowly build that one up to do with like vegan footage and feminist stuff as well.
Yeah.
So like I can try to get people that are interested in feminism, and then they learn about veganism. And
that's great. Why not, right? So here's one. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, don't target Gordon when he's obviously going to come and slam you into a wall. He's never going to be vegan, at least until he gets the lamb sauce.
I don't know what that means, but let me address your comment. When I am addressing Gordon Ramsay, it is not just Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay is a problem, but it is his entire audience. That's the problem. When I'm writing or singing a song to Gordon Ramsay, it is to everybody else who's going to read it, who is going to come and see my content and go and watch the documentaries. My main reason is I want people to go and watch those important documentaries, because I can talk to you, Jada, for 1,000 years about how you should be vegan, but you're never going to get it unless you watch Dominion Movement or Earthlings. And people can put those back into the comment section. I see it's already there. Watch Dominion Movement. Watch these important documentaries, Jada. Seriously. I mean, nobody's going to slam anybody into a wall here. We are trying to save animals who are suffering terribly. This isn't like me trying to be mean to you on purpose or even to him. I just think that what he did was atrocious because, you know, I was there with my little ukulele singing to him, eating animals is wrong and you should, you know, stop. And it was a 15-second song pleading to his kind side, if he has one. But here's to show what a kind of a monster Gordon Ramsay is. He could have, A, ignored me completely, which would have been okay. You know, he doesn't have to pay attention to me. Or B, he could have done what he did, and instead of eating a dead animal, he could have, if he was any kind of a man, any kind of a decent human being, he could have eaten a vegan burger and said, yeah, eating animals is not the greatest thing. He could even said he still does it, but he could have had a vegan burger and said, but yeah, you should eat vegan burgers once in a while. Like he could have done anything in between being a complete asshole, a complete despicable human being, because it wasn't me that he humiliated. Because, you know, I didn't expect anything better from him. But you know why I went to my bed and bawled my eyes out when he did that? Like I sobbed. I put the blanket over my head And I just thought, this is terrible, because all I could think about is he's just given the green light to allow millions, 50 million people saw him doing that. It would give millions and millions of people the okay to keep hurting animals. And that is just unforgivable. And I truly hope, and I've said it before, I hope he dies choking on an animal bone. I seriously do, because the animals, more of them will be saved the quicker that he's gone. And no, you know what? You can try and demonetize this, but it won't work, because they tried before. They tried to take down a video where I said that. I appealed it and I said, look, this guy is a complete bully. He has bullied me in front of 50 million people. And this is my sincere hope. And no, it's not a death threat. I'm not threatening him. I'm in Canada. I'm not going to fly over to wherever the heck he is and try and kill this guy. Of course not. Yeah. But it is my sincere wish that he dies eating an animal bone, because that's what he deserves, or choking on a piece of beef, which is an animal. You know,
I think that I think it still was good though, because it got people to watch you. So like even just replying to you, got people like at least discussing the idea and looking into things that they wouldn't have looked into before. And also as well, I mean, I know that you don't really like this, but he did come out with, I think it was on Plant-Based News, he came out with a thing that said that he was having vegan for lunch, and he cooked a vegan steak with eggplant. So, and that came out after the whole burger thing. So maybe he did see that, because he has done documentaries. Yeah. He showed animal footage, and he showed the fish industry and things like that. So he has done stuff like that, but he also is a smart ass. So I think that like even though you're angry and stuff, I think that just replying to you, even though it was in a really smart assy way, it was good. It brought attention to the subject of veganism, and it got people talking about it, and it got people looking into things, like maybe watching you for a laugh, but then end up going, let's just do this Dominion thing, or like, this doesn't make, like, just say like for my, like, I remember my best friend telling me how she like about the dairy industry, and I didn't believe her. I didn't believe that cows produced milk for their young. Like, I didn't even know that. I remember being like, really? And I was like, and it didn't matter whether I wasn't a troll, obviously, but like if I was a troll and then I learned that, I went, that's not true, but wait, I'm going to look into that.
Right. Exactly. You know, I thank you so much for pointing all these things out. It's so true. And also, one of the things that I want to say is that you talked about me being angry about it, but you know, anger is really just a cover up for sadness.
Yes.
That's all it is. I was deeply, deeply saddened. And I truly hope that somehow somebody who's watching, who knows him, who can just somehow wake this guy up. I don't know what he would need. It's probably too late, but it would just be an absolute dream of mine if he would just honestly change. And it, you know, in my YouTube here, I did a poll, and I said, why do you think that Gordon Ramsay, who's such a famous chef, for those of you joining who might not even know, I didn't even know who he was, to be honest. I didn't even know who he was. People were just like, you should talk to I didn't know.
Jack.
And so, you know, I just hope that somebody can
get to him. A lot of people don't like him either, so they'll be like, yeah, it's Gordon Ramsay being, like, you know how you have yourself, like, you know how you have, like, you're you, but then you play the teacher, right?
Right.
Well, Gordon Ramsay, his persona is that he's a jerk.
Mm. Yeah. Well, anyway, but you know, he is a jerk, because it's not just his persona, because because he literally pays people to hurt these animals, and he continues to do so and encourage others to do so. And the only thing I can think of when I asked this poll is, I said, why wouldn't he has all the money in the world to buy the finest ingredients to create beautiful vegan meals, and he's no reason he can't do it consistently. Why would he deliberately hurt animals unless he is an actually terrible chef and he's not creative enough and he cannot make delicious vegan meals using just the right spices? That is my theory, because if he could do it, it's either two things. Either he's honestly a psychopath, he just is so evil to the core and just enjoys the idea of hurting animals, or he simply cannot cook well enough to use all these vegan food. Like, I I have no other reason that I can think
He
of.
can cook vegan food. He's made heaps of recipes.
But are they good? Are they any good? That's the thing. I'm wondering.
They're
Maybe
really
they're.
good.
Huh?
Have you seen the vegan steak that he made with the eggplant?
Did you try it though? Is what I'm saying. Maybe it tastes like it. Maybe he's just a terrible cook. I don't know.
Nah,
it looked good. It looked good. But
I think that he's more like switched on than you think. It's just like I said, it's about core values. It's really hard to change someone's core values because it's like core value is something that's like what all your other values are based off, you know?
Yeah.
So it would be like if we were to change our core values all the time, it would be really hard. So anyway, I'm just answer some of the questions. Did you want to ask me any more questions about nudism? Because I feel like I only just touched on it.
Yeah, sure. Let me just check this here, though, because I don't want to miss this. Thank you for the donation, Trash Carcass. Again, as humans, we are moral agents. This means we are obligated to have morals. If you don't, you've broken the social contract. Yeah, we have morals and we're obligated. We are obligated to not hurt animals because we can. We can live our lives without hurting them. And so being vegan is not a moral baseline, in my view. Being a vegan animal rights activist, I mean, speaking out to undo all the harm that we've done in the past is necessary. That's what I think, personally. And I think that everybody in this world needs to do a certain amount of volunteer work in their day because we have been so blessed. So many people have so much. And even if you think you don't have much, there's somebody who has less, and we can always help. So why not choose your volunteer work to be an animal rights activist every day and help out in our comment sections at the very least, is what I say. But yes, I would love you to, if there's anything else you want to add before we close today, because we're coming close to an hour. If there's anything else you want to say about nudism, I would think everybody would love to hear any of your thoughts.
Okay, so nudism is non-sexual nudity. It's the activity of, the reason why is because it's comfortable. We enjoy it. It has nothing to do with proving anything to anyone. It doesn't have anything to do with body positivity. It doesn't have anything to do with loving your body. It's just about being like comfortable as you are. Although there is aspects of body positivity in there because in society, we're taught that, if you've got it, flaunt it. But if you don't have something, or if you have something that you don't like that's bad about your body, then hide it behind clothes. Now, although it's nice to have the ability,
or makeup,
yeah. Although it's nice to have the ability of hiding your the stuff you don't like with your body, your flaws behind clothes, although and showing off what you got, although it's a great option, in society we're kind of taught that now we should be doing it, instead of being like, oh, you could hide your stomach, which is you don't really like, which is maybe bad, but now we've gotten to the point where it's like, oh, you should hide it because it's not good. Like how many times have you overheard someone say, oh, she's too fat to wear that? Like, oh, she can't get away with that.
Yeah.
That means that it's like she doesn't have a good body, so she can't get away with showing it. Yeah. And I think that's where nudism comes in and goes, it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter if you have small boobs. It doesn't matter how hairy you are. It doesn't matter how, how wrinkly you are. It doesn't matter anything about you, whether you're a guy or a girl. Mm-hmm. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to be like, oh, you can only show it if you've got you've got like a good body. No, it's just about being just about embracing whatever you've got. But it's definitely not about embracing sexuality or anything like that. Just covering up some misconceptions.
So let me just, so first of all here, don't be vegan phobic, be kind to all, save the earth and everything on it, be a better person starting out. Yay, Elizabeth. Absolutely. I want to ask you a quick question about what happens if you're on a nude beach and somebody becomes sexually aroused and it's obvious. What are the rules?
Okay. So I assume you're talking about guys. So basically it doesn't as long as you don't draw attention to it, we just recognize that it's a normal, natural part of the body, just a normal thing that is without isn't within our control.
Right.
But as long as you don't touch it or do anything to your body, then it should be fine. Just don't draw attention to it.
Don't make it into a sexual thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like I've seen guys have that on the beach, and they just go into the water or something, or they just lay down.
Yeah.
You can hide it, but you don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I too have been on nude beaches for many, many years. Every summer we go to a place and there is a clothing optional beach, and there's kids there. There's old people there. It's like whatever. It's a very tiny place, and it's a pond basically, but it's a really nice spring-fed pond. And it's great. There's two beaches. One is mandatory clothing and one's clothing optional, and they're very tiny beaches, but it's so nice there. I mean, there's trees around, and you can go swim out into the pond, and it's no big deal. And people are chatting, and they're reading books, and it's like they, a lot of them have big sun hats on because, still want to protect from the sun, and it's nothing. And there's all different ages of people there. And my kids went there, and they were little too. And it was like no big deal. Like, kids play in the sand when they're naked when they're small, and then they just kept doing it. And I mean, there was a point when they were teenagers where it was like we just didn't want to go and interfere in their space, and we just didn't really go there and just let them do whatever. But it's nothing. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I'd love to take my kids to like nudist places and just really get them to not feel the normal society views where, you have to look good all the time. You have to hide certain things about your body, or like, showing like certain like genitals as like a sexual invitation. And I don't want to teach them all that. I just want them to teach them that the human body is the human body, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. You don't have to hide your flaws or hide your genitals.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if there's anything else here we can talk about. Let's see, Alexis, watch dairy is scary. Vegans oppose dairy because there's so much cruelty in that industry. Yeah. So my guest here was just saying that she did see dairy is scary a long time ago, and that was what helped her to become vegan, right?
Yeah, like lots of clicks and stuff.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for coming today. I really do appreciate it. We sort of touched on a few things. One point that I think that I wanted to make about being topless in public before we end, we can just chat a little bit about this, is that people said, well, if women are topless in public, like let's say you're really hot, you're riding your bike, and men take off their shirts or mowing the lawn or whatever. It's really that kind. What?
And they're really hot.
And they're hot. But the point is that if people say they can't, people might say, well, the men won't be able to control themselves. And it's like, yes, they will. And here's the proof. Because look, if lesbians can see other women naked and they're okay, they're like, they might find it attractive, but they can get their shit together in their head and just be calm about it. I think that men can too. And it's not women's worry whether you can control yourself. Like, that's your problem, right?
I think that there's a lot of things like over time that like with women that men behave poorly and they blame it on women, and it's just an excuse. It's like, what, I've heard thieves use the same issues. Like they'll say, oh yeah, but they deserved it because they
left their car open.
Yeah, or they showed they had an expensive lifestyle and they flaunted it in people's faces. So, therefore it was okay for me to steal because they shouldn't have rubbed it in other people's faces and stuff. And it's like, it's exactly the same. You just want something and you're just blaming someone, like you're just doing something bad and you're blaming someone else for it. And the thing is that like eventually people would become desensitized to topless women. They just would. That's what happens in the community when they first start out. They're like, oh, okay. But then after a while, they just become like, it's just become something you see all the time and it doesn't do anything for you, like you just become desensitized to it. So yeah, and the thing is that sexual assault and stuff is actually caused by people wanting to overpower another person because they feel powerless or out of control in their own lives. And there's lots of studies to prove this, that it's not like them wanting to satisfy themselves, because let's face it, you can satisfy yourself on your own.
Yeah, exactly. So this one, Miss Katie, is there any vegan food out there that you don't like? Well, to be honest with you, I never liked vegetables my whole life. And becoming vegan, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because I became vegan for the animals, not because I like vegetables. But what ended up happening is that gradually over time, I started to not just like them, but crave them.
Wow.
Like the idea right now, if you would have told me before you're going to like broccoli one day, I would have been like, that's never going to happen. But it did. I mean, if somebody gives me a salad where the broccoli is chopped up really fine. See, the thing for me is that I really just don't like chewing stuff a whole lot. So I put a lot of stuff in smoothies. That's how I get like my spinach and everything in there, bananas, and everything's in there. Put a lot of spinach in a smoothie. Like I pack that thing down because I really want the iron. And I also like things like soups where things are chopped up really small, and stews and stir fries. So I just put a mouthful of different flavors in there, often with a tomato base or something over everything. And so I love everything. And I love a salad that's made out of chopped up broccoli and small pieces, like little bits of corn, little bits of beans in there, and a delicious dressing that's entirely vegan. And another thing was a real surprise for me is that people started telling me that you should not cook with oil. And I also thought I could never picture, how do you not cook with oil? Now I know.
Oh, I just use water and it's fine. Even
it's like
pans and stuff.
Yeah, you just put water in a pan with your onion and your celery and just fry that up with a bunch of spices.
I hate celery and I hate pineapple. That's what I don't like.
What is it? Pineapple and
pineapple is a vegan. I get that all the time. How can you not like pineapple as a vegan? Or how can you not like no one likes celery. I like celery.
I like celery. I put
I mean, like, people can understand. Like if I say I don't like celery, they're like, oh, okay. But if I say I don't like pineapple, they're like, oh, I do like that. But there's a few things that I don't like. Oh, okay. I like diced tomatoes and I like tomato sauce, but I can't eat a whole tomato, especially cherry tomatoes.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. I just find them too big. I cut them in half, cherry tomatoes. I know everyone thinks I have a big mouth, but I really don't. What?
You think cherry tomatoes are too big?
I cut them in half. I know. Yeah. I do. It's true. It's true. I cut cherry tomatoes in half.
Yeah, I think I think
I just don't like taking big chunks. What?
I don't like the pits so much of the tomato. I like the skin, but not the pits inside. And I think that's what it is. It's like the cherry tomato has the most flavor. So I was like, oh.
Yeah. But basically, I like everything. I love vegan pizza. I mean, at first I didn't like vegan cheese. Initially, I was just like, I don't really like it. It doesn't taste like what I used to call normal cheese. But I took like 6 months off completely. And then I started having a little bit of cheese on pizza, just a little bit. And I was like, I could get used to this. And even soy milk. Honestly, I didn't like soy milk at first. It took me like a long time to get used to it. But what I knew is that I can get used to anything. What?
I've always loved soy milk. I remember when I was working in childcare and they were like, the lactose intolerant kids have the soy milk. And I was like, okay. And I thought one day I was like, I'm going to try this soy milk thing. And I did. And I was like, I really like it. So it was a really easy transition.
And for me, I had to take little shot classes every day. I'm like, I'm going to, because, what I say to people is if there's any kind of food you don't like, you can get used to it. Think about the first time. Well, not if you're kids. You don't know this.
I used to hate mayonnaise and now I love it.
Oh, and vegan mayonnaise is amazing.
Vegan mayonnaise is exactly the same as regular mayonnaise.
I personally find it even better. But anyway, when you're young adult and you start drinking alcohol, or your late teens or whatever, I never liked the taste of beer or whatever, but you're so motivated to like it because all your friends are drinking it and it's a social thing, and maybe you like to get a little buzz. I got used to it, and you can get used to broccoli. You can get used to soy milk.
I got older and I went, you know what? I'm not going to pretend I like beer anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
But
okay.
I don't.
Yeah, maybe you don't get used to it
anymore myself.
Do you drink alcohol?
Not really. I haven't drank alcohol for a long time, and because my ex was an alcoholic, and he was really abusive, and so he really turned me off alcohol. And not just that, but I've never really had like a deep connection with like alcohol. It's always made me a bit depressed the next day, and like it messes with my mental health. I've just found that if I stay away from alcohol, I don't mess up my mental health so much. So
yeah, I agree. I don't actually like getting drunk. I don't like to do drugs. I don't like any of that stuff. I just don't see the need. I think there's so much to learn in life and to experience just normally. But anyways, thank you so much for everybody who has been joining us. Thank you so much, moderators. Thank you so much, everyone who contributed to help me to fund my activism here. Thank you so much to Emily, my guest. And
thank you so much for having me.
And everybody who just bothered to pop in, and you 107 people who are still here. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're not yet vegan, please consider becoming vegan. Please do it for the animals. It's not about us. We are truly just their voices. They can't speak out. They can't tell you how much they're hurting and how sad they are and how they want to be with their families. They just don't want to die. So we're urging you, please, to watch the documentaries. Watch Dominion.com. Just Google that. WatchDominion.com. It's all one word. Watch Earthlings, Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives. Recently, there's a new one called Seaspiracy. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. And we'll say goodnight.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, just one last thing. You could promote your channel one more time. So it's Slightly Crazy Vegan, and your other one is...
so my other one is Emily Walsh, where I do feminist and vegan content, and Slightly Crazy Vegan is nude cooking shows and nude misconceptions and things like that. And also I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your channel.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. See everybody. Bye.
Bye.